Every time it seems, you get an inkling of, I was going to say, who comes in and just ideas, and they're so fun, and your mind goes 100 miles an hour on where should we go, and just like our minds as humans, there's so many offerings in your mind, your ego soliciting rights and wrongs and futures and hopes and disappointments and fears and consequences and outcomes. And, it's just amazing what we are, the thought in and of itself, and then to be birthing ourselves into the remembrance of the thought that we are creators, that we are, is just, well, it's exceptional. And no matter how much we fight and scream and holler about this life, um, and hope and do everything that a human does in its vast complexities of experiencing it. The self-evident thing is you can't deny the beauty of your own existence. And every day that I'm allowed to explore myself is just priceless. Yeah, we go through the absolute frickin' torment of it sometimes, but it seems like every now you're alive and well, no matter what you're experiencing, which just shows you life is never ending and never expanding. So we're going to go again tonight. I had this inkling and I got it, and it was a little bit scary for me, to be honest. Not scary as in fearful, scary as in, we're going to go to the edge again. All right. Are you guys ready? Who's coming first? Oh. Or maybe I'll type that 15 minutes in. That's when we start. Let us say we'll ease into it a little bit. In all movement of time and space, energetic attractions, there is always becoming those things with no effort. When you guys gravitate towards things, maybe you can see yourself attracting those things. You are still upset at your attractions, disappointed in them, and absolutely astounded by them. I'm not here to talk of the human journey. I am here to prepare Roxanne for vibration, prepping her in movement of change so she may connect with the least possible resistance within her unintentional mind to resist. The only frequencies of interruption would be that of her natural ascending self, getting familiar with the attraction as you do. Every day, something is very familiar and you tend to glance over it. Even your pain that you run to comfort yourself is so familiar to you. But it allows you to belong. And what attraction does, it allows you to transcend. This is why Roxanne is attracting Roxanne's next movement. Let us say, when you keep choosing the same things, you're going to attract the same things. You're not attracting the definition, the object you appear to define as causality. Oh, no, 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 no. You're attracting the potential change, aren't you? It's not a lesson to be learned. Karmatic fools running abreast on your planet. No, 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 no. This is potential of evolution. We are here to evolve ourselves, which is an occurrence of natural. The choice of human is to live the memory. Many of you know this already. It's easy. You keep asking questions. You keep demanding answers because they are questions and they are answers that you only create through the memory. They are not created in the now sequentialtaneous change. They are created through choice of focus. I believe Sylvester spoke of it. What you sow, you shall reap. You're always trying to figure out a reason for your pain and suffering, which keeps the pain and suffering. And make it clear, masters, we consider pain your highest level of joy as in a human emotion. Once you go beyond human emotion, then you are feeling the natural. That's where we stay. I will not bore you with the fights on your planet, with the possibilities of the future, with the causality and blame and the distractions of your own idiosyncrasies, looking and hunting and diligently causality of maybe a hero to have the right answer for all to worship you. Truly, who gives a fuck what's happening out there? Because it doesn't matter. It will not do anything to you, nor for you, until you evolve it. In whatever way you choose. Attraction masters. What can you see about yourselves today? What can you feel about your mind selling you a story, wanting to know why these bad things happen? These are attractions of change, not of revealing the reasons. These changes are because of your vibration, potential movement of self evolve to realize beauty, astoundingly present with a matter of focus. Not only astoundingly present, your beauty, but I dare say constantly present, the beingness of Creator. You make yourselves ugly, but the ugly is truly beautiful. We consider it crafty, honing a skill, an art work, human masters. So speaking of human, let's bring in tonight's crew. Let's see how Roxanne could become the most naked she has ever allowed herself to be. She has friends around her all the time. The presence of you folk here to support the human that is afraid. Not much in fear, more of startled. Mm. You know something? before we bring in the first guest. The less you worry about how you appear and make yourself into a production, the more pure your light will shine. Stop doing it for them and watch how beautiful you become to yourselves. All right. Here we go. Outcome is okay. There is a presence within all of you. And I want you to liken this presence to a memory. There is a light bearer within your DNA, the Christ conscience, Yeshua, that did his duty as free will. You know him as he knows you. But that doesn't make him better. Not at all. There is your scripture, and it was written by the hearts of men. The human. Let me check, Roxanne. The human wrote these wonderful scriptures. Your church left out the book of Enoch, left out Mother Mary's scriptures, left out Titus and Poseidon's input. Oh yes. Left out the entire scripture of the pagan institution. From the horned god to the devil, the transfiguration of humanity rose itself from the ashes to become light through the Christ, to abolish and diminish the Taurus, the bull deity, to raise in fire the ram, to destroy the ram with the sea, to douse the flames of Pisces. All there for you. But you do not see beyond the words. The words grab you because you approach things from submission. It's nobody's fault, I suppose. Masters forget, don't they? They only covet what they see. When fear rises from the depths of the internal beingness fighting for its own identity, fighting against its own deception, knowing itself as not, but never admitting it. These fears conjure up a prostitution of self, filled with lies and deceit, because it struggles to know its identity as life and the absolute eloquence of Christ's conscience gave you the internal movement of self-love. Whether it was scorned by the popes and the scribes is not a causality for the deception. The deception lies within the hearts of men. You have the two churches within you. The one that you must adhere to, the disciplined. The ones who walk on the knees and beg for forgiveness. And then the disciple. Oh, the disciple. Do you remember? Yes. To bring the church within, to scrub it clean of its own delusion, to have will, courage, trust, and the grains of salt that fortify your courage to choose, to die for your truth. And many of you have. Most of you think you're special, that you're some kind of purpose. You're not a purpose. You are life. Purpose diminishes your light. My discipleship was forged in trust, not the trust of another. The fear of persecution, death, the fear of abandonment, of love from family, the fear of starvation, the fear of trial, judgment, and execution. Yet I walked before my Lord, so you may know you. Your light. I carved the path, and you use me as a shield for your delusion. And you strike my heart because you have no courage save the courage to judge and kill my brethren, to kill my flock, because you have no might of your own isness, no life of your own existence, no awareness of your own breath, because it is defined in the actions of your imagery, of your productivity. You walk and smite my grave. You pray to my name, for approval. So you may be revered by the pulpit that beckons you to disciple your will to the edges of conformity. Slaves, my master freed me, not from the tyranny of oppression by an outrageous man, but the prison of my own misgivings, the prison of my own fears, represented an internal truth that I could not deny. I assigned my master my love, and my master told me, it is not me that you love. It has never been me that you love. It is your own wisdom that you have sought in me and found in me, that is always and ever shall be in you. I died a wonderful death. And I live again, for I have never died. And I never have lived a death so beautiful. The beauty of human, forged in the trinkets of memory, instilled in the crystals of your heart, wrapped in the scraps of time. Endless perils, faded hopes, persecutions at every turn have led you to tonight. So light may be shined on you, not because you have honored, because you are honorable, only if you choose it. I am not interested in the things that distract you. For my life was distraction until I saw my light, given to me by my master, which my master showed me that I am my own master. We are going to go deeper now, Roxanne. Gird up yourself, master. This might not sit well with some of you. For the devout, for the ones that have investigated a particular consciousness of evolution, the 2,000-year-old structure leading to stricture has given you a falsehood, because I was afraid to be counted out. So I illusioned myself with the eavesdrops of my fellow brethren. I am a thief. I am a coward. I am a liar. I love my life that I've given myself, because the trickery fills my emptiness. So I wrote a book that was not there at the time the other books were written. There was a disciple, but he didn't write a book. I wrote the book because I'm a bastard. See, what happened is, when I'm mulling around the churches and I listen to the power of my Lord, not the Savior. Hang on. Can I have a little bit of this? It, yeah. So I can have a little bit of this, okay? Okay. Hang on. Roxanne's talking now. Hang on. Oh my God. Oh, to taste warmth again. Oh, it's been a long time. Oh, it's been a long time. See, I was a scribe, and I was tasked by my Lord. And he was a tyrant, and he had power. His power was given through the hatred, which is very powerful. Most of you know that. But all hate finds its love. This hater tasked me with an assignment, and I had to come through with my thievery skills and my eavesdropping craft and some wisdom from his pagan mother. allowed me to give an additive of stricture to your New Testament. There was a book that doesn't belong because it was written off the echoes of conceptualization of the tact my Lord wanted me to structure for its flock that shall tithe the church through fear and grow my Lord into immortal. And it worked. So I was showered, but you know people like that, don't you? I think you know something, don't you? I think you know when you have a person that's a particular way, no matter what you give them, they have to stay that way. And then you question your hospitality. And then you're angry at the rejection. I've done everything I can for them, and they still don't want to take my gifts. They don't want to take my... Well, because they don't give a fuck about you or your goddamn advice. Fucking idiots. See, my master, my Lord, my teacher, my confidant, I was a slave, showered me with the deception skill that I attained and gave me all the stuff. And then I betrayed that fucking asshole. I killed him. Oh, the history books always clean stuff up, but I killed him. I slit his throat and poisoned his children. Do you know why? Because I'm the same. See, what he did to me is what most people do, is he kept me the same. And then he cultivated my skills and showed me my depth of my own illusion. Can you imagine the hate I had for myself at that moment? When I wrote a masterpiece, and that book strictured along with the other like a camouflaged deception. And I felt my own wrath. So my hate was then venged. I'm in not the time of your disciples. I'm years after your disciples. I'm sure if your disciples knew me in the time that we would share a physical reality, then they would have not let me sit with them. They probably smelled the dirt, the stink on my breath, the deception in my sweat. Because they have received beauty where I received tyrannical enslavement. It seems that your planet, which at one time was mine, I can't have too much of that, Jesus. I wouldn't want to come back. um, See, it seems that you guys are seeing the tyrant that lies within you. Many of you are assigning the tyrannical to an object. I'm going to have to use Roxanne's vocabulary because my vocabulary will not translate to yours in your time on the meaning I want to convey. You assign things as causality, which I assigned my hate to my master, my Lord, Constantine. Maybe you know him. And you're assigning your pain to the chaos with reasons, which subdues the pain. It's a numbing effect, isn't it? I'm not taking too much time. That numbing effect allows you to carry on. The ones that leave the plane through self-mutilation, that's the simplest term, has no more numbing effects for the chaos. That's all. So as long as you can manage to dull the pain, then you stay. I can't speak about awakening, I think is your term. The disciples can. I just wanted to tell you that the entire book of Matthew is a forgery. You need not answer this question, but I am speaking to James Ayler. I would like to have counsel with you in private. So if you would, arrange what you consider time with this doorway, and we shall answer your anger and frustration with something of value. Hmm. Well then, haven't we had a run at it tonight? So let me continue. Um, each singularity has what you would consider a personality. Roxanne uses a term called persona. It's a natural self. Roxanne has visions of her persona. She considers fire, courage, the first one to jump off the cliff, and the first one to run into a fire and save somebody. She has no cause, no concern for her own health because it's not healthy for her to consider her own well-being in saveology. She cuts the edge. But that is a human term, isn't it? See, the persona is undefined and realized as the constant of change. And it is antiquated seemingly this effortlessly and perfectly, always in the now of that change. It is forged in a memory, however. You're like something. Human terms liken it to personalities. And oh my goodness, have you guys got some personality tests on your planet, don't you? A type, B type, AB, C type, D type, DE, a little bit of both. You are the masters of compartmentalization. And without those little tiny boxes, it is chaotic. And the chaos leads to pain because you can't control it. And we were taught to control our lives as human nature, the personality of you, and how you perform your controlling abilities is how your life will seem in the measure of polarity, not only by the judgments of your own egoic structure, but that of humanity as well. So these things that occur on a daily basis in your world are a personality, and you are lined with edges of that personality concept, and you are well aware of your versions of yourself you adhere to because it's what feels good to you. Now, there is a misconception that pain doesn't feel good. It feels ecstatically wonderful. All of you are in love with your pain. Uh, it's humanity's pastime, as Debbie had said one time to Roxanne. I think it was suffering, was the exact words. That's why you keep choosing to see things as painful and feel. You see a person take a dog and smash it on the concrete and kill it, and then it becomes painful for you. But then you attracted and then you focused on it as the wrongness of it, and that kept the feeling alive. And the anger keeps the feeling of that torment alive. And the protest and the lawful changes keeps that action alive in the heart of you because you are energizing it with your attention. So whenever you have a problem and whenever you have a resolve, you're going to continue the cycle. So let me give you a thing. So let's say you have a problem and it's, well, this guy said this and this guy said this. A lot of you quote people that are 20, 30 years old. You keep going back to your memory and say, yeah, they said this, they said this. You guys got to stop with that. But if you choose that, then you're going to get that same exact frequency. And then you have the problem, and then you get the solution of it. See, the solution is always a resolve because you know you're going to resolve the problem because that's what you guys do. You cycle with the polarity scales, right? The suffering and the happiness. And you go back and forth all the time. That's not a surprise. I don't think to any of you, is it? No. So when you are doing the things of value that you know so well, how can your life change if you keep choosing the comfort of pain? And even your glorified days of happiness are painful because you have to do it again. Because as soon as you achieve, it starts to diminish. And you have to find it again, don't you? You have to pursue your emptiness to be fulfilled with the objectivities that define you as a personality of value. Imagine that. So I would not suggest anything to you. I think you guys have been taught enough. I would like rather to represent something of difference for you. The difference of yourself in change could be likened to an idea of a flower. You start off closed, and then you open up. And then soon you are pollinated, and your seeds will follow the idea of the winds, and you will once again become life as a conception. And you will continue yourself as life cycled, but not in the cycle of humanity and not in the cycle of things. Because see, life is not defined by the object. Life is continuous. See, when you are the flower being planted, the seed, you don't know yourself as the flower, but inherently you do know yourself as that already. But we are now always. So we are moving, or better yet, is attracting our own change. So you stem, and then you blossom, and then you die. But not in the idea of what you call physical death. Humans have physical death. You see death all around you. See, the flower never dies. The flower knows itself as change. You know yourself as a beginning and an end, and you have to live within those confines. That's your approach, therefore that's your reality. And this is why you have age, this is why you have the idea of death, this is why you have, for God's sakes, you have funeral plots. You're ensuring your own death. Um, so the flower, without itself identified, like the ego identifies you as an object, the flower only knows itself as the experience of the moment of ever changing. So it doesn't start itself as a seed and then goes, look everyone, I'm a flower, look everyone, I'm being pollinated, look everyone, I'm being turned into honey, look everyone, I'm being eaten. It doesn't do that. It is that. And to return yourself to the persona of the now would instill upon you the way you look at things when they come to. Right now you have twofold of looking at things. You have the mind of the human, which is a child, and then you have the mind of an intelligent creator, which would be considered an adult. I don't care how much education you have. If you are afraid of anything, if you are judging anything, if you are polarized, you are a child. But that's the human child because you needed that childlike experience so you may have the quality of a human life. Otherwise, if you're an adult, as what you would call a full-blown creator, well, then you don't have the beauty of your own pain, do you? You're just another run-of-the-mill Pleiadian, just being a creator. Well, you wanted to create something else, so you created not the self. You created the self outside the self, and you found what it is to be infatuated with one point of view, a personality built on the covetings of the now, moms and dads and churches and kibbles and bits and teachers and authorities and religious ideas. And there will be more religion in this class, by the way, guys, for the idea to give you a new tact on it, so you may tool yourself in your future gatherings. So anyway, so you create this personality and you live by it because it was accepted. You live by it because it was accepted. See, as soon as the parents stopped accepting the kids for their own change, then the kids have to become their own self and they get quiet, and some of them kill themselves, some of them turn to drugs, some of them turn to gangs, some of them turn to the adhering of their parents and make them proud, and they do all that because parents are children raising kids, because they are afraid that the kid will fail, that the kid will die, and they will be a failure. Their image will be thrust upon them as a value of laws. And these painful ideas forge you to put your instillment in your children, and generations happen, and here you guys are so many billions of years later doing the same old song and dance of separation until the awakening. And we're here. Took a long time, didn't it? Took an infinite number of lives. But we already knew that because we know the beginning and the end inherently in all of us. And you know one thing, that Homo sapien is just another flower. And you'll never miss it nor end it. You'll only transfigure it. It's like the witch that lives in Roxanne somewhere, that Esmeralda. Roxanne was Esmeralda a long time ago, just like some of you were the dandelion. Hmm? And then now maybe you're a snapdragon. Makes sense? It's the same point of view, but you are expressing a change. So it's not the definition, it's the change that you need to look at. When you embrace the change, you automatically mature. We can use a better word for you. You want to use evolve, then use evolve. So let's go ahead and evolve ourselves with allowing ourselves not to hold on to the painful identity because it is proud, it is personality accepted, 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 accepted. You ever notice when you start to change, like the teenager changes, most people get very upset with you because they don't like the new you. They want you to return to the old you so they can have the comfortable identity in front of them so they can rely on you as a cornerstone in their fucking castle. As a matter of fact, you might even be a keystone in the fucking archway, huh? And as soon as that fucking archway is gone, you guys crumble their castle and they're disappointed in you. And then you get to live guilt. And then that guilt is an idea and you get to experience that la-di-da-di, everybody. Yay. That's the human game. But I don't want you to be human. I want you to be an evolver. And I want you to know this, that change is present. And you're never going to die. And you never started out. And the personality doesn't define you. The persona is what puts the flair on the human. I bet you if you go out and observe two trees blowing in the wind next to each other, the same wind, but they will act differently with the wind because the two trees are personas. They make up the gestalt of that co-created idea, the, the pulp, the bark, the leaves, the branches, the roots, All of those are co-creators within the idea of the entity, just like this body is a co-created idea. There's an infinite number of selves right here inside of Roxy, as Roxy expressing Roxanne. Same with you. The only thing you own in reality, folks, is your truth. And that truth is the way you see things. So if you continue to see things through the personality, and it is painful and it is wonderful because you love your pain, that's why you keep going to it, demanding answers, being disappointed in others, wanting people to give you the answers, wanting your ego to be solved from the pain. But they can't, because it's yours, because that's where you focus. See, that personality and the persona are in battle, aren't they? It's the battle between the selves. And a lot of the times, your fucking arrogance is so thick you can't even see how arrogant you are. And people have no idea that they're arrogant, that they're being a personality. That's not right or wrong. But if you see 1 ounce of personality from the persona point of view, well, then now you will see 2 ounces. And it's not going to happen overnight because that's the personality wanting to hurry up and happen, wanting some magic pill, wanting a shortcut or some bullshit. See, the magic lies within you, and it is called the journey. We all are journeymen forever. We don't leave, we don't go anywhere, we attract our change. We create space so we can walk distances. We create time so we can grow old and experience change through death. We become wisdom the more we stop ourselves trying. We grow up naturally without effort. Because our state of awareness, masters, is natural evolution. So anyways, my offering tonight is to see that you have never been in peril. The points of life that you have perceived as painful are in time. The now is always filled with life. And that perception of life that is unfiltered of time, with time, becomes a beauty of persona. Only but a glimpse of it will show you the endless world of that. And the more you forge yourself with the surrender and courage, surrender to the recognition of the personality, and the courage to choose in the now, despite what's in front of you, no matter what, to choose that self that is personified by the indignant idea, the loathing idea of not choosing that. And you know you must choose that beauty. If you do so, then you will shave off a layer of that personality. And you will grow just a twinkle lighter. And then as you do that, from the same habits that you have as a human to try to produce yourself, now you allow yourself. If you do that for a staple of time, then you grow and become familiar with the natural self, and then it becomes faster, quicker, easier, more effortless to be a light bearer. And then at some fundamental point, you realize no matter what you do, you're only here for you. And that freedom will allow you to be a very bright star. So others may know their freedom as the Christ conscience represented the freedom to his disciples. And they found their beauty within themselves, because the Christ conscience never was outside of anybody. It was always in the one and the all. So the Christ conscience, Master, is encouched in you that are the one. This shall end tonight's channeling. The first channeler, the disciple, was John the Baptist. The criminal was Isaiah. And I am just a friend. We bid you all a good day. Adone, Masters. Adone.